You know, there was a catch. Obviously, I should have seen the catch, you know. So I went up first day to be a graphic designer, you know, big best gear on and all this, you know, beret, probably the lipstick on and everything, walking up, and we get to this like industrial estate, and I'm like, didn't look very cool. Oh, I put us on silent. Sorry, apologies.
That's them now offering you the job.
I know.
They've heard.
P45.
We'll take you.
P45's in the post. Oh, fuck. So I turns up at this adult learning centre thing, and it's in this utter, like, run-down shithole area of Airdrie where I'm going to. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I might get stabbed, like, walking to the front door. I was like, shit. So it goes in, gets to the front desk, and they're like, I was like, oh, I'm here to be a graphic designer. And this guy's like, so fuck.
Don't care.
And he's like, what size of shoe are you? And I'm like,
what size shoe?
He's like, what size of shoe? And I'm like, a 2? And he's like, I've not got a 2. And I was like, a 3? And he was like, I've got a 5. I was like, I'll take a 5. You know? So he hands me this pair of steel toe cap boots. Yeah. And I'm like, amazing. And then he gives me like a boiler suit and a welding.
Are you thinking, what's going on? I've got about to do graphic design and I'm getting dressed up.
Honestly, he gave me this like welder's helmet, and all I just thought about was, I can't believe graphic design's so fucking cool. I was like, honestly, I was totally like, you get a uniform, like you get all this stuff. I was just like that, you know. I was like, fuck it, and I just thought I'm going to look fucking amazing in that. And so I was just like, brilliant. Where do I go to do the graphic designing? So I get into all my gear, and I'm like, let the graphic designing commence. Helmet on, you know, like ready, here we go. You know, yeah. And then I got taken into this room, and it's just full of all these like workbenches and these guys, you know, on, you know, with like welding kit and all the rest of it. And so it turned out what I was actually there to do was to learn how to weld ramps for disabled houses.
Wow. Okay.
And so I learned how to weld ramps. I learned how to stuff couches for homeless shelters.
I see. That's where that comes in.
Yeah. And I also learned how to sew pockets onto aprons. And
useful skill? Never know.
Yeah, useful, man.
I was not very good. So the deal with the apron sewing was, if you could sew the pockets on the aprons really fast, you would get a job in the factory. And but I was just too pedantic with the whole thing, you know, trying to do it like real perfectionism, which has crippled me my entire life, and it was a total setback. So I just couldn't do it fast enough, because I was bothered about it, you know, like I cared, and they were just like, you're shit at this. And I was like, oh, sorry. So I didn't get the job in the factory. So they didn't really know what to do with me, so they put me in this room that had a 2-colour litho printing machine in it, and this kind of hot metal type press thing. And I was like, and they said, that's the graphic design room, like you can get in there if you want. And I was like, all right.
That's what I came for.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I'm here for. So then I just messed about in drawers, found bits of type, found some ink, worked out how to use the machine, and just sort of hung about in there, just printing random words, you know, what every woman wants and things like that, you know, just to make some statements and stuff like that. That was my graphic designing training.
Oh, that is amazing. That was hilarious. I didn't know that story.
No, we didn't know that.
It took me by surprise.
Yeah.
So then what? You eventually... What happens next?
What happens next? So I got in the industrial unit, there was a printers who weren't like a high street printers, they were like really shitty printers. And they had heard that somebody was messing about with the hot metal. And the type room wanted to be a graphic designer, so they said, look, they could take me on as a YTS, and that you got £27 a week. And
YTS?
So I was like, yeah, so it's a youth training scheme, and it's like a government initiative thing. So I think it wasn't like as high up as an apprenticeship. It was just like, you know, the lowest of the low. It basically keep you off the unemployment record, sort of thing, you know. So it was like you had a job. So I took the YTS and the printers, and I was there about a week, and I was eating a Toffee Crisp, and then they had an Alsatian dog, and then I didn't know that dogs must love Toffee Crisps. And the dog like went for the Toffee Crisp while I was eating it, and it bit me in the face, and like just like hit me the top of the head, bought me the lip, my lip all burst. So this guy that's working in the printers takes me to the hospital, and the hospital's like, what happened? I was eating a Toffee Crisp, fucking bit by a dog, you know, and they're like, fucking usual, you know what I mean?
Classic Friday.
No, they're like that, you know, join the other list of folk who would eat a Mars bar and whatever else. And then we got back to the print shop, and they fired the guy that took me to the printers for taking time off work. It took me to the hospital.
No.
And so they fired him, and then I then said, well, if you're firing him, you need to fire me as well, in protest.
Principles.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
How
they
old
said,
are you?
17.
17.
And then so they fired me as well then. So, you know, I'm like thinking, I'm defending this guy's job and honour. And I was like, yeah, well, if he's going, I'm going. They're like, right, there's a door. I was like, all right. So I was out on my arse then at that point.
Wow.
But I was still at this point in time, I worked 5 days at the printers, and I also worked at the weekend in a sports shop by then. So I had elevated along Argyle Street to a sports shop,
Okay.
and I was working in there at the weekends. So I just asked, can I get in there full time? And that's what I did. And I was there for about 5 years.
Was it a cool brand like Sports Direct?
It wasn't that cool. It was called Olympus Sport. It was pretty cool. It was like for proper sports people.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was the first time I was probably surrounded by brands, like sports brands. And there was no way I was affording them, so I used to just steal them, just take them. It's terrible.
As you do.
Another life lesson. If you want it, steal it.
If you want it, take it.
I know. It was terrible, and I had this real... I used to be a gymnast when I was younger, and I had a real passion for leotards. And I used to just think, I could just get and put that leotard on under my uniform. Nobody will have a clue. So I had about 500 leotards at one point. I was like, you know, just kept putting them on, and then I'd put on like 10 at a time. You know, walk out the shop like with all these leotards on. Don't, please. I'm not advocating stealing. It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
No, of course
That's
not.
the lesson.
No.
Don't do it.
No,
Yes.
my dad had been a bad thief when he was younger.
I see.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Okay.
Yeah. But he used to steal. He was a long distance lorry driver at one point in time, and he used to like steal the lorry full of stuff.
Oh.
And like he would drive to our flats, and we had like a couple of there's garages at the flats, you know, for cars, and he would just like back up the lorry and just empty all the crates into the like half of the load, and then he would say he got robbed.
What kind of stuff would turn up in the States?
All I remember at one point in time was going to this market with him to help him shift about 70,000 bottles of shampoo. And it was the fucking worst shampoo ever. Like you would have like a whole bottle of shampoo to try and get one bubble.
Wow,
you know?
it's not L'Oreal.
No, it was rubbish. But I remember actually having to draw the logo of whatever this shampoo was, like big, and hold it up as a sign. I think that was the first logo I ever did.
And you were like, this is
Yeah.
cool, I'm liking this.
Yeah, and I just stood to the side of him, holding up, going, like, whatever it was, shampoo, you know, 2 for 1. And then I think it was like, at the end of the day, it was like 25 for 1, you know. I just tried to get rid of it. My first logo. I wish I still had it.
That's you, Ash. Well, now we get to the point where you've like, there's a lot of people who want to get into art school, right? Mm-hmm. You meet someone.
I do, yes.
Tell us about.
Aye, so I'm in the sports shop, and I've been in there for years, and there's a guy who starts working in the sports shop. This guy called Ed Sullivan, and he was at Duncan Jordanson College of Art up in Dundee, but he was also from where I was from, and I got chatting to him one Saturday, and he said, oh, blah blah blah, I did graphic design. And I was just like, fucking, what?
What?
You know, and I just totally fell in love with him, like, immediately. And I was just like, oh my God, like, you're a graphic designer, how do you do graphic design? And he said, well, you apply to art college, you put a portfolio together.
And you were
know,
like that P word again, portfolio.
I know, and I was
Bag
like,
of pictures,
I said, oh, I've heard about a portfolio. And I'd said, oh, it's a big bag of pictures. And he said, it's more like a suitcase of pictures.
Oh,
And he's like,
correction.
no, he's like, it's actually like a black, and it has to be black, obviously. It's like a black suitcase of pictures. And I was like, right. So Ed went to the Building Printing College with me and asked for forums and things like that and helped me fill them out and helped me submit them.